As a 17-year-old boy, when I heard the name Uganda, I thought of a generalized picture of Africa. Lions and elephants and snakes, smoke billowing into the atmosphere from the fires of thousands of villages. I had seen the pictures of Africa. I had seen the videos of Africa. I knew about the poverty. I knew about the spiritual darkness. I knew there was a great need for the gospel of Jesus Christ. But when you grow up in first world North America, you look at Africa as some faraway place where I'll never go. That's where the missionaries go. That's where we hear of the stories of witchcraft and demonic activity. That's where all the good soccer players come from. That's where I could go for a safari to see all the iconic African animals. This is who I was. Until I went and saw. Until I went and experienced. Until I went, I did not understand what the need truly was. Jeremiah best said this in Lamentations 3:51 when he said, "Mine eye affecteth mine heart." What we see will affect the way we respond. After I saw, God took my burden for Uganda and developed that burden into a very clear calling that Uganda would be my future place of ministry service. Abby and I both grew up in Christian homes. We have Christian parents who desired that their children would serve God in whatever He called them to do. As youth, we both surrendered our lives to missions. After graduating from Bible college, we were married in 2017. God gave us our son Carson in 2018, and 6 weeks later we began our deputation to get to Uganda. Upon completion of our deputation, we spent 9 months in a linguistics school to better prepare us for learning the Rutoro language spoken by the Batoro people of western Uganda. When we moved our young family from Greenwood, Indiana to Kampala, Uganda in the fall of 2021, we began working with a veteran missionary. But this was not an easy transition. Leaving behind everything that you've ever known to go to a place where you have no relationship with anybody, you don't speak any of the 50-plus languages, you don't have a taste for the food, you don't enjoy the extremely hot climate, everyone is looking at you as the foreigner, or Mzungu as they say. You feel 1,000,000 miles away from everyone that you have ever cared about. But then things started to get better. God started to bring people into our lives who needed us and we needed them. He allowed us to start a Sunday school class for young adults. He enabled us to win souls for Christ and to disciple them through the Bible. He burdened our hearts for the children. He gave us the opportunity to teach young Ugandans in a Bible college. He challenged our hearts about the country's music and gave us the opportunity to convey how satanic it is to the people. Over time, the distance from home was reduced. The distance from family became a number or a time zone. God began to connect us with the people. He began to teach us to be patient with our ability to learn the language and learn the culture. We went from the large booming city of Kampala to the small remote town of Kasese. We built relationships with national pastors and their wives. We learned from missionaries and Ugandans in how to do ministry in the Pearl of Africa. Now, God has prepared us to move to Fort Portal and plant the first independent fundamental Baptist church in the city. We are excited for what God has in store for our family as we continue to follow His leading in our lives.
Who is this despised, rejected, as the sun in darkness hides? Who is this that earth should tremble when He bowed His head and died? Who is this that brings salvation through His death? He brought us life. Who is this that rose victorious, conquering sin and lives on high? It is Christ the King of glory, who is life
As you think about Uganda, please consider adding our family to your missions program. Next, pray that God would call more laborers, young and old, to be a witness of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Finally, allow God to challenge you to do more for the cause of Christ wherever He has placed you. When I was a boy, Uganda was just simply Africa. It was a place of poverty and spiritual darkness, and those things are still true today. But Uganda is much more than what I could have ever imagined that it would become in my life. Uganda has become my home.